Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in for this week's WorthWhile Spotlight. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to Visit Columbia for being a great asset to the city. You can check them out online at visitcolumbiatn.com, where you can find information on local artists, businesses, events, and everything you need to know about Columbia. So check them out. Now I'm going to turn attention to Jill Brooks.
Hi.
Thank you for coming on the WorthWhile Spotlight.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having
I'm
me.
excited. So I just want to go into how we met
Yes.
to start, because I think it's, from my perspective, it's Southern Trey.
Right, yeah.
Used to come in and get sweet tea.
That was
You
the
used to-
daily occurrence. Sweet tea.
You were at what salon then? Right. next
Salon
door?
South.
Okay.
Which they're not there anymore, but
Okay.
that's where I was at
Yeah,
then.
it was a daily. I
Yeah.
think every other day. You'd be
Yeah.
like, "Let me get a sweet tea to go."
Yes.
I make that happen, and then
Yeah.
we connected from there. I think I served you a couple times, and then we just kind of stayed acquaintances
Yeah.
and friends throughout the time.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about your story. Which I know you got Jill Brooks Beauty Bar right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a lot. I've started looking into your story.
Yeah.
Done a lot of the music, beauty.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Where did it start?
There's a lot. My main focus right now is on the beauty bar. I'm a hairstylist. I own a salon, and we have a couple of stylists that work with me. I do hair and makeup, extensions, kind of a little bit of everything. And that was kind of my focus with opening the beauty bar in Columbia. I wanted to have a place where you didn't have to go to Nashville for these services, but to be able to get Nashville level quality. And this is my hometown, so of course I want to bring it back here.
Born here?
I was born in Mount Pleasant, but
Okay,
yeah,
close.
here.
Close.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
I
close,
consider
yeah.
this my hometown.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring it back here, and it's been amazing. Everybody's been so great with.
And where is it located?
I'm on Wedgwood,
Okay.
so it's right off Hatcher Lane. We're really close to the hospital. It's right in the middle of everything, kind of.
How long have you been doing that now?
So in April it'll be 4 years.
And you've obviously been in the industry though for years before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this will be I think, like 7 or 8 years in May, I think. So yeah.
That's a journey.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it.
What started? Talk a little bit about the music as well. Now, I guess my idea was like, I feel like there's two big journeys part of your life.
Yeah.
I think music, obviously, and then the beauty aspect. But were they ever intertwined, or did one start first, or like taking it back to the beginning stages?
I think that, music definitely started first. I grew up singing, but I'm lucky that music and beauty kind of go hand in hand, and there's a lot of things that I can do together with those things, and a lot of the same people that you come in contact with. But yeah, music is obviously a huge part of my life. I was on the road for 4.5 years, full-time making music, and took a little bit of a break, but I'm getting back at it. We're working on some stuff and hoping to release a record early next year. Yeah.
Nice. Record? Just one, or are you doing a little project?
A little project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Do you have a name picked out?
No name yet.
Okay.
I learned early on not to name it.
Yeah.
The last record that I had was named and done and completed, mastered, everything. And then I wrote a song that had to go on it, and it changed the name of the record. It changed everything. So, yeah, I learned my lesson.
Your tour time frame, how was that? Have you been on tour several times, or is it just
just really that one time, that big chunk of time
yeah.
that I was on like full tour. I started singing professionally when I was 11, and anywhere that they would let me sing, anywhere that they had a stage and a microphone and would let me sing, I was there.
What was the first ever live performance?
My first ever live performance was actually like a school performance. I had a
like
duet.
Talent show?
It was like Grandparents' Day or something. Something very fancy, I think it was Grandparents' Day, end of the year. It was something like that. And my teacher asked if I wanted to sing a duet, and so I did, and I was hooked. Yeah. So, and at that point, it was me just volunteering anywhere and everywhere that I could. So.
What do you think the most not influential but memorable performance you've had so far? Or meaningful. How about meaningful towards you?
That's really tough. One of my favorite performances, it was at the old sports page, which if you're a Columbia native, you know what the sports page is. We actually shut it down and we had a showcase. It was for industry and just executives to come in, and we performed everything that was going to be on that first record, and it was with my first band, and it was just the first really big thing that I felt like I was a part of, where we had, like announcers, and we had people paying for tickets, and we had, it just felt like, I felt like a real musician in that moment. And it was really special. There were definitely some hiccups along the way, but it was a really super special performance for me and my family too.
Yeah.
So
did you take, like, for while it was happening, were you like taking it in, like, man, this is like happening right now?
Definitely. Yeah, so we had my sweet dad had rented a tour bus for me to get ready in, and because there really was no green room or backstage area. So before the concert, sitting in there, it was just kind of like having that moment where I felt like this is bigger than, singing some karaoke songs at the fair. This is a big deal, and we were shooting music videos, and we were doing a lot. We were taping for a live performance, so we would have all of that for. We actually put that out as a record too. It was just a lot going on, and it felt
like everything, like the performance, the
Yes.
pre-performance, the people that are there, the
Yes.
music videos, like everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've experienced
it was
that.
amazing. It was really, really cool, and that was when Sports Page was at its very last location, I think. So there were 3 different levels, and there were people on 3 different levels watching, and it was.
Where was that at then?
So it's behind.
Like where Chick-fil-A used to be? Or no?
Maybe. I think Catfish Campus might be there now.
That's the building I was thinking.
I think that's what's there now. But there were 3 different levels, and there were people on all 3 levels, and it just felt really special, and it's something I'll never forget. I'll never forget that.
I'm glad I asked that.
Yeah.
I think my only memories of Sports Page are when it was when it moved to off James Campbell,
right?
Which is still off James Campbell, but like north, or I don't even know how to describe it. Towards Shell.
I think that was like the first Sports Page, when it was like kind of like down in that little hole. Yeah, and then they moved and wanted it to be more of like a music venue, and that was really before Columbia was ready to support a music venue. I think they were just ahead of their time, but it was a really cool location, a really cool spot.
And it still served that experience.
Yeah, it did. It absolutely did, for sure.
So where did the path of the intertwining of the beauty aspect come in? Because obviously doing performances and stuff like that, you were, getting your hair and makeup done and stuff like that. Did you fall in love with it while it was being done in that?
Yeah, I'd always kind of liked it. Another huge path of my life was pageants, and that's really where I got mixed in with the beauty world. It was a lot of doing my own hair and makeup and experimenting, and then every major event in my life, as far as weddings or proms or pageants, whatever it was, I remember getting everyone else ready and then worrying about myself. And so I just always remember that being a really big part of my life, and I knew that's something that I wanted to do, but I wanted to do music more. So I had to do the music first, and I had to see what that was about. And I'm lucky that when I made the choice to go from music to beauty, that doing music and beauty, I can kind of do those in the same spot, and I'm not that far from Nashville. No. So it didn't feel like I had to totally give up on the Nashville dream or to give up on the country music thing, because I'm here. I'm still here, 45 minutes away. Yeah. So
and Nashville's coming here.
Exactly.
Like Millhouse is here now, like stuff like that. Yeah.
There's so many opportunities in Columbia. So it definitely didn't feel like I was giving up. It felt like I was maybe redirecting for a little bit, trying to make some money, because it's the music world, and there's not a lot out there. There's a lot out there, but it's not divvied up evenly between everyone. Yeah. So kind of figuring that part out, and then saying, all right, now I have saved the money, and this is what I'm doing, so now I can do music the way I want to do music, and
not having to worry about the money part,
right? Exactly.
Doing it for the fulfillment aspect.
Right. Yeah.
So you said when you made the choice, like, what was there like something leading up where you're like, I need to focus on something outside of music? Or what was that choice moment?
I remember there was a long stretch that we were on the road, and I was homesick, which obviously that happened, and I just remember I really wanted to be at home in my bed, watching TV, eating some snacks. Like that's what was in my brain that I missed doing.
Yeah.
And I remember getting home. Exactly. And just being home. And I got home and I got in my pajamas and I got in my bed and I was eating snacks and watching TV and I still felt homesick. And in that moment, it felt like I didn't have a home, which sounds so dramatic, but it just felt like I've wanted something so badly and now I'm here and it's not fulfilling what I need. So that moment was kind of that moment.
Thrown on, like it was all like an actual like realization at the same time. Like you're like, I'm here exactly where I want to be, but this isn't what I want.
Right, exactly. So that's when I said, I think it's time for maybe me to come off the road a little bit and see what else I can do and figure out what I can do maybe from home. And I really wasn't thinking that I was giving up music. It was just let me redirect and maybe not focus so much on being out of town and on the road and playing a bunch of bar gigs and just a bunch of stuff away from home. So.
Anything you can get at that point, it seems like you're probably like anything. Like I'll do a performance here.
Right.
And then circling back, it's like when those happen, those time frames happen. And I sound like I'm talking like I have like years of experience, but I just feel like I understand like mindsets and like time frames of life and stuff. But like you not focusing on music and focusing on opening up the beauty bar and stuff like that, you're gaining stuff that you can write about.
Right.
And like I'm sure that's what you're doing with the next project.
100%. Yeah. And I'm a different person now, obviously, than I was 7 years ago when I started this beauty world and I kind of transitioned out of music. And what I'm writing about and my experiences and just who I am, not only as a person but as an artist, is totally different than what it used to be. So I'm excited to see where my music takes me, and I'm lucky enough to still have some of the exact same people that were working with me. I've stayed in contact with. We've stayed good friends, and I have them a part of this, and they've kind of gotten to see this whole evolution of me as a person and as an artist, and they support me and want me to really be able to explore that new side.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I feel like you're gonna come out the door.
Yeah.
Excited.
That's the plan.
So one question I've been I actually did it for the last podcast, and this would be the second one I asked. But if you could go back in time to a time frame of your choice of whatever age you choose and tell yourself some advice, what would it be? And what time frame or what age of life?
Well, probably going back to pageant world. I was very immersed in that.
What age was that time
I
frame?
was 22, 23 when I was just in the thick of it. I was Miss Nashville. I was going to Miss Tennessee, and I was very serious about it. And we had the opportunity to perform a talent, so that brought that music aspect into it. I was getting a lot of just experience doing a lot of different things with pageant world. And I remember coming home from Miss Tennessee, and I had one talent and I had one swimsuit, and nobody else had ever done that and not won Miss Tennessee. So you're going into that night thinking, all right, I've won these 2 preliminaries. This is my night. This is my chance. And when I came out that night without a crown, I was devastated. I was devastated. And I didn't necessarily let it show on the outside because you just know going into it, probably you're not going to win. But I was still, there was a lot of emotion and a lot of feeling and just a lot going on in that. And I remember just being so sad. And fast forward a year later, I was driving back through Jackson, which is where Miss Tennessee was at the time, exactly a year after that pageant. And I was driving home from being on the road. We had played some shows, and I remember passing that exit that I would have gotten on to go to Miss Tennessee competition and thinking, I was so thankful that it didn't work out, that what I wanted didn't pan out, because I was able to then go on the road and make music and do all of these things in that year that, just a year prior, I thought that was over. I thought that was where everything ended, because for that date on my calendar, the date of Miss Tennessee, I blacked out everything for a year after that, because you have so many responsibilities as Miss Tennessee that you
what happens after
you have to you are at that point back when I was competing, you were a character spokesperson for the state of Tennessee for the governor. So you had a salary, you worked for the government.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
And it was a full-time job. You traveled 80,000 miles.
Really?
You were speaking all day, every day, up to 3 schools a day, traveling.
I didn't know that.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, I
so
didn't know that.
in my brain, when I was preparing for it, after that date, I just had a blackout. That was it, because I knew that this is what I was going to do. And when it didn't happen, it just felt like, what am I supposed to do now? You know, what do you mean I now have a year that I have to fill? And a lot of music things happened for me in that year, and including going on the road. And, you know, I was so thankful just a year later that my plans didn't work out, and that God made this path happen versus the one I wanted to happen, because I just can't imagine a better outcome and a better experience in that year than what I had.
It shows that, like, when the bad things happen, there's always beauty. And I say bad things, it's not like something bad happened, but I mean, emotions, like you said, that you got emotional from that, and like that gave you stuff to, I'm sure, put into music at the time.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And then that opened the door for you going on tour, and like, and so on and so on. And now it's almost like reversed again.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like it was like beauty world, music, and then beauty, and then back into music.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think I am somebody, whether it's for a career, whether it's a full-time gig, whatever, both beauty and music will always be a part of my life. I have come to realize I am not a complete and full person without both of those aspects of my life. So, I'm just excited to see where both of them take us. And, you know, as you grow up, as you're an adult and you know a little bit more about yourself and you can make more confident decisions about yourself, things are just different. So I'm excited to see where this new music wave takes me.
I think it's gonna take you far.
I hope so.
I feel it. I don't know,
I'm excited.
Just from talking to you right now, it's just like there's gonna be a lot of you in it, and that's what people want and people relate to, is like the authenticity of you.
That's what I hope. Yeah.
It sounds like you know yourself the most now than you ever have.
100%.
What's that journey look like? I mean, I guess you kind of went into it a little bit, but like, is there an obstacle or a time frame or something where you really felt like you had to focus on your personal growth and like how you feel about yourself? Or would it be like kind of like that pageant time frame where it didn't pan out like you thought? And
I feel like there's always something, you know, there's always something that you're going through.
Definitely.
There's always something that's happening.
It never ends.
Especially as a musician, as a songwriter, I'm gonna, you know, even if I have a wreck outside, I might take something from that and put that into a song. You know, every little thing that happens in my life will impact my music life, whether it makes it on the record or not. It might just be a song that I write today, kind of thing. I did experience a big loss close to me last year, and that was a wake-up call. I think it was kind of one of those situations that's like, you know what, we don't live forever. And I have to take advantage of the time and the opportunity that I've been given. And it's easy for me to say, well, I'll do music later. Like, you know, I'm doing this right now, but I'll do that later.
When I get to it.
Right.
Sense,
like once I'm ready. And then I kind of realized there is no such thing as being ready.
No.
So once I got to the point where I realized I've got to make the most of what I've been given and the most of the time that I've been given, it was like, I've got to do this. I'm not full and I'm not complete without music. So what am I waiting on? Why would I ever want to live when I'm not full? So
it's something that I feel like it's in our heads. It's like you say, you're never going to be ready.
Right.
I mean, even like this podcast, for instance, like it's something I wanted to do for years, and it's like I got to the point where it's like I just want to talk to people and like actually document it, because like that's how the brand's been grown.
Right.
And I kept pushing it off, like, oh, well, I need to make sure I have the right setup, or I need to make sure I have the right, where's it going to be, where's all this stuff, and I finally was just like, I got to pull the trigger on it and just do it and figure it out as you go. And I feel like that is a relational aspect. Like everybody goes through that in their own different way in life, and that's honestly what the point of this is like to spotlight that. So. And
look where you are now. I mean, this is amazing.
Well, thank you.
This is amazing. Whether you are ready for it or not, this is great.
I'm taking it all full steam. Honestly, it's something that I think is going to be taken by the city like more than I think. like once it's out there, people are like, oh, I've seen that guy from Southern Trey, or like whatever it may be. But
and if they don't know you, they know your brand.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They know WorthWhile. So I think you've got both of those things to help you out for sure.
See what happens.
Yeah.
See what happens. But going back to the question of like telling the advice to yourself, I don't think we got to the actual advice part. I know you just started describing what happened.
Yeah. I guess just to trust that whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that, and that everything happens for a reason, and eventually one day it will make sense why this has to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it was just to trust what's going on, that everything's going to be okay.
You tell yourself that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah.
What time is your album or EP? What is it going to be?
Right now,
or do you
it's
not
an
want to throw a time?
EP, but we might have an album. It's just kind of going to depend. I don't want to put any constraints on it. I know it's going to be a multi-song project. My plan is for it to come out early next year. Again, that could change. You never really know what's going to happen. So I would like to release a single or two before then, but I'm not really putting pressure on anything. I'm going to kind of just let things flow and see where it takes me.
Do you want to go on tour again?
Yeah, I would love to. I don't know that I would want to go on tour where I'm 27, 28 days a month again. Yeah. I would love to if things panned out, but it's a different world living out of a suitcase and eating tacos from the gas station all the time. So if I had some money behind it, and maybe I got to stay somewhere a little nice where I didn't have to bunk up with the boys in the band, and we got to eat some decent food, it might be a little different. But I don't know. If the opportunity presented itself, I think I would do it.
Where would you want to go? Number one location, a place you haven't performed at, like dream performance area.
I would love to perform at the Red Rocks. My number one place, and this is, I think, any country music person is going to tell you this, is the Opry. Always wanted to perform in the Opry. I've had some experiences there, but I've never had the opportunity to actually perform there, and so I would love that.
What if that happens?
It would be amazing.
That would be that moment, right now. Like,
you're
gonna perform at the Opry.
Yeah, that would become my new. Like what's the moment that you don't want to forget that you asked me about? It would be the Opry.
But you can't lose the other one.
I won't lose it. It just might take a second place spot.
That would. I can't argue with that.
Right.
That would be,
it's the Opry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I actually haven't been there.
You haven't been to the Opry?
No.
You have to go. It's amazing.
You said, what?
Yes, it's so much fun. Even if you don't really like country music, they've got all kinds of different musicians, different artists, genres, all that. Obviously, it's heavily country focused, but they've got a little bit of everything. And they do tours backstage before and after. And then we have actually a Columbia native that she hosts some things. She was hosting, Natalie Stovall, who's from Columbia. She was the host of In the Circle, which is like I think it's where they show it on TV, and she was basically the host that would introduce the clips and stuff. Yeah. And she's done a lot with the Opry over the years. She's performed there several times, and then she is currently in Runaway June, which they're having songs all over country radio right now. So she's the newest member of Runaway June. So they're doing a lot. Yeah, she's from Columbia. Huh. Yeah. She's one of the first people that I remember. I was really young. I was at Girl Scout camp, so I was in elementary school. And I remember her coming to sing and play the fiddle for one of our days that was, a part of the Girl Scout camp. And I remember thinking, I want to do that. That's something that would be fun. And I started going to her shows, and she played in Mount Pleasant.
She's like a mentor.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So she, for a talent show, actually, whenever I was in middle school, I performed one of her original songs that her and her first band played. And so, yeah, I've always loved Natalie's stuff. And it's cool. I'd love to be able to say that, we both share Columbia.
Yeah. I'll have to look her up. I don't think I feel like I've heard the name, but
you probably know her if you saw her.
Does she still live here?
No, I'm pretty sure she lives in Nashville, but she's very immersed in music world, so
she's up there,
there's no telling. Yeah.
Do you play instruments?
I play a little guitar, a little piano, just enough to write. I don't necessarily consider myself a guitarist or a pianist, but enough to understand. Yes, yeah.
I don't eat at all. I feel like I have the ear for it, and like if I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna figure out like how to play, I will and I can. But honestly, I just know a couple. Like that's it.
Yeah. Guitar is definitely where I'm stronger, but there's a lot that goes into learning the guitar. I put it back down like 3 or 4 times before I finally said, you're going to have to suck it up and learn this. And luckily, country music is pretty much based on about 5 or 6 chords. So it was easy for me to be able to play a lot of stuff early on. And I think that definitely helped me in my guitar playing, because it was like, all right, well, I can already play a song. So let me just grow from here.
As a stepping stone.
Yes, exactly. Instead of feeling like, I'm so far behind, I don't know how to play anything, and just give me some extra motivation to do that.
So about time back into Columbia. Have you ever wanted to leave, or like this just since you've been here in like obviously Mount Pleasant area in Columbia, like was there ever a time frame where you're like, I want to move out of here, and just, or is there something that's always just kind of kept you here?
I did move for a little while. I went to college at MTSU and moved to Murfreesboro, and then after that I moved to Nashville for a little bit. And then that's when I made the decision to go on the road, and it was really the biggest thing was, why on earth am I going to pay Nashville rent when I'm not going to be home? So let me move back to Columbia. And it was almost felt like I had a little bit of a defeat. Like a little bit of me felt like
returning,
right, like I didn't do it. Like I was going on the road, but it felt like I left, but something in me didn't make it.
I see that.
Yeah, and now it's so funny because my friends were all like, "You're moving back to Columbia? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that?" And then they come to Columbia and they're like,
awesome.
"We totally get it. We love it here. It's amazing." Kind of the same idea whenever I opened my salon. They were like, "You don't want to go to Nashville to open this?" I said, "Nope. I want to open it in Columbia. That's where it needs to be."
And I bet you got people from Nashville.
I absolutely do. Absolutely.
I bet it's them too.
Yes. And so they totally got it once they visit and they been here and they kind of experience things. They're like, it all makes sense now. So
it's got a genuine energy here. That like, for the longest time I wanted to move. Growing WorthWhile. I mean, it's been 7 years, but like just in my head growing up, I'm like, oh, I need to be in like California, or I need to be in Nashville. I need to be somewhere. And every time I've tried to leave, something like kept me here. Someone reached out about being a roommate or a job, or something kept me here. And I've just embraced it at this point. I'm like, I just want to be here.
And I'm so glad that I did. I fought the urge to move back to Nashville and to move. I thought for a little bit about moving to Texas. I fell in love with Texas when I was on the road.
Where at in Texas?
Mostly Northeast Texas, Dallas, Tyler kind of area. I still have a lot of friends. I go back down and visit them a lot. I probably go down 5 or 6 times a year at least. I love it there. But there was always something in my head that said, maybe Columbia. My family is here, so that's a huge part of it. But I could see Columbia coming alive, and it was no longer the sleepy town that it was whenever I was in elementary school and middle school.
I wish I was like younger at the time frame it is right now. Like being in high school or something like that. I'd just be like, man, there's so much to do now.
Right? It used to be when I was in high school, the only thing to do was to drive around the strip. And either park at the bowling alley and get run off by the owner of the bowling alley, or park at Kroger and get run off by the owners of Kroger. So like that was it. There was nothing else to do. It was. I mean, we had a lot of fun doing it, but that was it. There was nothing. I mean, we could go bowling, but that was pretty much the only thing. So I'm the same way. I would have loved to have been younger in this Columbia because of all the opportunities. There's so much. There's so much here now. So.
What's your favorite new business that's here right now?
Oh gosh.
You like Joe Brooks?
The Joe Brooks Beauty Bar is my very favorite. Oh gosh, that's a really tough question. There's so many new businesses, and every day I feel like I'm hearing about something else that's new.
Definitely.
I love that we have the Columbia Arts Building. I love that there's a place that you can go, and there's so many different vendors and business owners here. I really love Mama Mila's too. I'm into some Italian food.
Shout out Mama Mila's.
Right. I love me some Mama Mila's. And my clients, they always know the way to my heart. They'll bring me some mamas when they come in.
Is there something specific, or is it that bread?
The bread is amazing. The pasta, honestly, you can't go wrong. I mean, really, bring me anything, I'll eat it. So, I had some truffles the other day that were amazing, though.
I haven't had their desserts yet.
Yeah, their desserts are great. Their cheesecake, their truffles, all of it's good.
So it sounds like Mama Mila's takes number one.
Yeah, that might be my number one for now. That may change tomorrow, but for right now, I haven't had lunch yet, so right now it's Mama's, you know.
We just have the Pita Plus.
Oh, can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with Pita Plus.
It's a classic.
I do also love the new food truck that's in the Kroger shopping center, the Music City Gyros.
I don't think I've.
Have you been there?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's really good. It's like they have, it's kind of like Pita Plus, but it's a food truck and it's fantastic, and it's closer to me, so that's.
I did have.
That's the real reason.
We're just shouting out all the food places.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Can you tell we have not eaten lunch yet?
Slothful Waffle. Have you heard of that food truck?
I've heard of it. I have not made it, but I'm dying to.
You said. I was like, you.
I know. I look at their pictures of their waffles and I think, I don't know anything that could be better than that.
I tried I had it yesterday. Is their sampler waffle, and it's got, obviously it's like the Belgian waffle, and there's like each corner, each one had a different like topping on it.
See, that's what I would do.
One was Nutella, one was like a maple pecan, one was like a berry jam, and then I can't remember the other one, and then whipped cream on top.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
amazing.
Yeah, that's next on my list. I'm not an early morning girl, so that's been my issue. Not that they're not open later in the afternoon.
You're not open.
I'm not open early in the morning to go there before I go to work. Plus, it's like, do I want to eat a heavy waffle and then go to work for a 10-hour day,
Yeah.
So I will get there eventually. I will, because it's amazing, but
You'll let me know when you do.
Yeah, I will. Absolutely will. Yeah, for sure.
Send a picture and be like,
yes.
No, yeah.
I finally made it.
Phone eats first. Right. Well, I wanted to give you this as well. So
yay! I'm so excited.
Open her up.
Do you want me to open it right now? Yeah. Okay, perfect. And I'm probably gonna, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm probably gonna distress it, and I might need to wear it as a dress.
Do it.
You know me. Oh my gosh, how cute!
I didn't know what colors, but
well,
I was
perfect.
Like pink and black.
Pink and black. You can't go wrong with pink and black. Yes.
Yeah, tear it up.
I love it.
Whatever,
Thank you.
Whatever you want to,
I will.
I had a feeling that you would too. I don't know why. I was like, she's gonna do either fringe the bottoms or something.
Yeah. When you asked me what size, I thought I could tell him what size I actually wear, but if I size up, then I could do some stuff to it. So yeah, I already had it in my mind.
Because they're a little bigger than than size, and I was like, man, I kind of want to just be like. You sure?
Are you sure that's what you wanted?
Big. But I was like, no, she's probably gonna do something.
Yeah, I am.
Well, cool.
Stay tuned. I'll show you eventually.
You heard that. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I've had so much fun.
You want to let everybody know again where you're located or where your music can be found when it comes out and stuff like that if you want.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
So I am the Jill Brooks Beauty Bar is at 1711 Wedgwood Drive here in Columbia. You can check out all of our socials at Jill Brooks Beauty is basically Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And then my name, Jill Brooks, is where all of my music is found. So Jill Brooks Official, or just Jill Brooks, you'll find me. There is also a Jill Brooks. That is a weight trainer girl thing. That is not me. She is like a bodybuilder, and her body's amazing. That's not me, though, unfortunately.
Well, either way, thank you again.
Thank you.
And never forget that you are worth it.
Thank you for tuning into this week's WorthWhile Spotlight. Our goal is to motivate people to become the best version of themselves possible through the power of storytelling. Our stories are written by the things that we experienced growing up, and these experiences, negative and positive, shape who we are and what we stand for. The beautiful thing about your story is that you get to decide how it's told. So as a diamond in the rough of life, hang tight and let your light shine bright.